Greetings! Welcome to the Devlog for a special alpha of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we have got some exciting new Locomotion Mechanics along with our first testing alpha of our new take and hold level. Now, I mentioned it was going to be a special alpha, and I'm going to probably say this several times because these things tend to slip past folks. Today's build that will go live an hour after this devlog is not on the branch marked Alpha 1. It is going to be on a branch called Take and Hold Alpha. And that's for a number of reasons we'll get to later, but just for this push of this alpha, we are moving to a different branch so that Alpha 1 can remain live as it is. So let's get on over to our new Locomotion Mechanics. I'm over here in the Arizona range for a reason. I needed a whole bunch of space, and the reason for that is I have built very, very quickly this temporary climbing structure. And you might be like, wow, that's pretty tall. Why do we need such a big climbing structure? And the reason is because we have still first prototype a grappling hook that we can throw. I just worked out this week the rope system for this. So the way these basically work is that you pick one up, you place your hand over the end of this rope here, and just click the trigger. It's a simple interaction, and what that does is it causes the rope to fall to the ground. I'll eventually make that look nicer at the bottom, like have the rope coiled down there or something like that. And then the moment that we throw this, I'm going to throw it over something short here, you'll see that the rope essentially extrudes and then sort of snaps into a bunch of different segments, comes across here, and then comes all the way to here. And that these rope segments are interactive. I can use these to climb up onto here. Ta-da! We have climbed a little bit. And we can, of course, pick this back up if we want. Let's climb something a little higher here. Up you go. Wonderful. Climbing a rope. It does do some weird things, as you can see here. At the moment, it actually it sort of becomes locked the moment any part of this collides. I still need to tweak that and make that work a little better. I might just honestly make this part of the rod just way shorter or something like that. We'll see what works. I have it sort of locking the moment it collides with the environment to prevent sort of glitchy situations where it's still active after it has landed, because that's a little expensive performance-wise, the sort of casts that it's doing every frame. Let's do another. Whap. If we come over here and grab it, can fall down there. Oh, we are making great progress. We're getting pretty high. Now, granted, this works quite well, but there are certain topologies that this isn't going to necessarily make easy to climb. Like if I wanted to sort of get around to the other side of that, that'd be a really difficult throw. I'd be unlikely to succeed at it. Actually, I haven't actually thrown it from up here, so let's try, let's go like this. Perfect. Granted, now I have to actually come all the way down to the ground. Come on. Oh, we are so close to being able to interact with it, but my floor calibration is off. How embarrassing. Let's line this one up here and go like this. Perfect. So I can now grab this rope, grab this one to take. At some point, I'm going to make it so that you can actually slide down a lateral rope. I haven't 100% decided how I'm going to handle that yet. It'll probably be like a separate object that you will clamp onto the rope instead of an actual property of the rope, due to the way that I'll have to make the locomotion on it work. Who knows? Maybe I can actually make it an integrated part of these grab interactions. There we go. Perfect. Let us grab our second climbing object, and before we do so, let's grab something to bring up with us. So we've got a new toy this week as well, a new shooty toy. It's a replacement of an existing one that implements a long-requested feature. That's right. Thanks to Stefan, we have a replaced M320, actually scaled correctly. The original one was too small, turns out. But what's cool about it is that in addition to being stand-alone, if we come over here, say grab ourselves a Mark 18, configure it up real quick. We can, as it helps to pull the stock out all the way and then touch a lower rail to it, we can now affix it to a gun and release it and have a, oops, that was me disconnecting it. There we go. Boom. So we now have an M320 that correctly connects. Its ladder sight is accurate. So, oh goodness, I can't even remember. I'm gonna guess that that's 100, 200, 300. Let's find out here. So let's see. That should be the 100 mark, maybe. Looks like we slightly overshot. Let's try one more time. Oh, too far to one side, but the correct distance. You get the picture. Hitting something about this far away requires a lot of adjustment. Let's double check our mark here. Yeah, that's the 200. Perfect. Bam. Nailed it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, let's put that over our... let's put it down at the waist. Let's take our other climbing tools. These, I literally just got these working this morning in a moment of inspiration. A pair of climbing picks. Let's give this a shot. Basically, the way these work is that they have some of the same code in them that things like ladders have. In that if you are holding the trigger on while holding this axe and then collide it into the environment, the moment it collides, it becomes a grab point like that in the same way that the ladder does. The moment you release the trigger, or can I... Yep. Huh, interesting. That isn't letting me release it while the trigger's held. I must have added that in as an extra check guard. Good to know! But we can have two of them. Like so. And we should be able to fling ourselves by releasing the trigger at the right moment. Oh, no! Come back to me. There we go. Oh gosh. And it's funny, I have rocket jumped around so many of H3's levels, but something about climbing on surfaces like this absolutely trips the fear of heights reflex in a way that rocket jumping just does. Oh god. Oh, come on. Whew. As I said, especially when something goes wrong, suddenly you have this real moment of I am going to plummet. The lizard brain completely takes over. there we are. We're at the top, which means we should also totally be able to grab one of these and give this, let's see if we can make it across with this. That's actually further than it looks, I think. Perfect. Oh, this is, it's, you know, I'm talking about how much it's freaking me out height-wise, and I don't know if that's helping or not, but it's absolutely making me weak-kneed doing this here with you folks. Okay. Gonna grab this here. Pull ourselves along this very narrow rope. Oh gosh. Granted, I'm such a wuss for this stuff in real life. I'm one of those people that like 3 steps up a step ladder and I'm sure I'm gonna fall. Totally freaks me out. So this is just nightmare fuel in VR. There we go. Whew. And there we are. Over to the other side. Grab our, whoops. Don't want to lose that up here. Grab our climbing rope. Let's make it to the top. Oh gosh. I think one is taking, there we go. There are certain moments where what's happening is because one is embedded in the wall and I'm embedding another in the wall, but this one is still pressed in. It's causing a new collision with the wall and taking back over. So I still need to add a bunch of extra like math guards. Like, yeah, that somehow, yeah, they're triggering on each other, which should not happen. I think, can I just climb into the air this way? Yay, bugs! Wow, I will fix that before release. That shouldn't happen. But now that we're up here, let's take gosh, I don't even know what my distance is at this point or how to correct for elevation. Let's try this. Oh, first try. I guessed 150 meters. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's take one more. Bammo. So yeah, so that's our new sort of climbing experiments. They are not in the item database yet. As you can see from these colliding with each other and doing strange things, I still need to add a bunch of extra checks and guards and corner case handling. Honestly, that's half the work when building systems like this. But you'll be able to play with them in here in this climbing structure. This week, you can tell me how they work and if anything glitches out when combined with any of the other systems in the game. Cool. Let's head on over to the next big thing in this week's alpha. So, over in the Take and Hold lobby, we have got ourselves another little redesign of our options here, as well as some new options. I just realized I haven't updated the label on these because these multipliers have also changed. So, starting at the top, we've got a new game length. In addition to 5-hold standard, we now have something called 3-hold short, which, as you might imagine, is a short playthrough. It was inspired by the fact that, simply put, playing on the new level takes longer, and not all of us have the time to make it through all 5 holds in a day, or in my case, the physical energy. So that is in there now. It's holds 1 through 3 of any character that you pick. Let's see, I'm going to pick holds 0. In addition to that, we have a new option called Target Mode, which will also have multipliers similar to these options. In addition, we have by default all types, which is how the game has always worked. We have Simple, which turns every target into static encryption, which is super useful for those of you who just want to practice or have limited mobility or are showing the mode off to friends for the first time and want to keep keep things straightforward. And there is also a no targets mode. Note, I can't guarantee that every hold will actually be fun to play in no targets mode. The timings are a little bit different, and obviously there is no inherent pressure to push you out of just cheesing many of the holds by staying in exactly one corner and not moving. But a whole bunch of you, arm swinger jump, have screamed for this for a while. So if you would prefer to play the game mode that way, you can now choose to do so. I hope it is what you were looking for. And then lastly, what we have here over to the right on our select level, we now have next and previous arrows and can click over to look at that another level. We have Northeast Dakota, which I'm going to jump into briefly here to check out with, we'll do Operator Ori. Let's do it.
Uplink successful. Target system detected. Take it.
Let's hope I don't embarrass myself too much here. There are a number of things to be aware of in terms of how the game will play different. Oh, perfect. Bolt action. Awesome. Go ahead and grab that. Set that up to 100 meter zero distance. That'll be way more common. Actually love starting with a bolt action in this map. So this map is huge, and I talked last week about how the whole sort of hold point sequences have been designed to try to ameliorate that as much as possible. There is also more patrols. You will see more action in this map. Patrols will respawn in more complex ways, and you might, as I continue to develop this map, run into enemies in a couple other contexts. Even so, I am aware of the fact that there is going to be a whole bunch of walking in this level. Some of that is unavoidable. Some of it I hope to make more interesting by giving you more locomotion options, like what I was showing you earlier, as well as just tuning the distances between some of the places that you need to go. Cool. You'll notice that the radar has a different range in this map. In the default take and hold, it has a range of about 30 meters. In this map, oh goodness, it's got 150 meters. Oh, he's messing with me. Let's go over here. Yes, you'll notice even though we're on the first take phase, there are already patrols. Where is he? Oh. Bam! Perfect. Oh, I don't need the health drop. Let's clear our supply point. Looks like our hold over there.
What's that? What's going on over here? What's over there?
Oh! Only a graze! No, you don't. Wonderful. Put that there. Pick up our spare gun. Grab our, golden 1911. It knows that we are playing on the Devlog. It can just feel it.
Override token found.
Let's take ourselves a hold point. Now, an important note, supply points will repopulate now past the first hold. Basically, if there's more than one supply point, if you go into a different active supply points that you cleared prior will not only repopulate. One moment. I don't think that was a kill shot. That was. They will not only repopulate, but they will repopulate with a higher max population count. Can we get up this? Perfect. Let's come along this ridge. See if we can continue not... I haven't fully embarrassed myself accuracy-wise. Feeling pretty good. Let's take these. Bam. Oh, just suppressed him. Good. Down for good. We have another. That should be... It's always random within a range. We're good. All right. Let's play ourselves one hold. Now, note, these holds are, as I mentioned last week, very different in terms of where they spawn their targets, the ranges that you're going to be engaging in. So yeah.
Interfacing with system node. Hold this position. Analyzing system.
Bad idea. Stay down. Target's gonna be spawning soon. Got one there. Got two there. Oh,
Static encryption detected.
oh, crap. They're on our position.
Encryption neutralized.
Perfect.
Hold successful. Data extracted. 3 override tokens found. Advance to next system node and take it.
So, before I jump out of this, I do want to talk about a couple sort of known issues with this map and mode in general. The first of them relates to smooth locomotion, and it's an ongoing issue that I am trying to fix, although it's been very frustrating. And it basically relates to when you essentially press yourself up against a surface that overhangs you slightly. So like in the case of this supply crate, if I walk against this at the right angle, it will begin to push me into the ground like this, which can be used to either glitch through certain things or possibly even fall out of the level. I'm still investigating how to fix this and where my math is wrong or the logic of my character controller. It's an issue that has mainly come up in this map due to its complex topology, especially with a bunch of the cliff faces and rocks. I do not have an immediate solution other than to tell you to just be careful what you're pressing up against, and if something is at a weird angle, just try to keep a little bit of distance and don't press directly against it. Honestly, it didn't come up in my own playthroughs as much because I use arm swinger, so I'm almost always moving forward instead of sort of moving to the side or backwards, which is much easier to accidentally do that with. I thought I saw some Sosigs over here. Ah, come on. Wonder where they were going. If not towards me. This map is just large enough. Ooh. Oh. God. Oh gosh. Oh. They were up here the whole time. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Ah! Yo. So we are out of VR. I know, glasses, right? Turns out, well, I needed glasses. Didn't really realize it until I started driving more for the first time in a number of years. And I was like, you know, I can't really read those signs as close as I would feel safe doing so. So finally took care of that problem and It's amazing when one does finally get glasses and realizes how blurry the world further away than an HMD screen one has gotten used to. So yeah. Anywho, let's dive into the rest of this. So other important things with this alpha. Remember, it is not on the Alpha 1 branch. It's on its own branch called Take and Hold Alpha. In addition to that, the new SOSIG aiming changes are in, so they will actually lead their targets somewhat. They're not super accurate in it. As I said, they're making guesstimates that get worse the further you are away. But it does mean that just running in the open, you may still get hit. In addition to that, and this is a big one, for those of you who run mods, this is super important. You probably want to if you're going to try out this alpha, you probably want to completely remove them all before loading into this. Part of the reason that this is not on the Alpha 1 branch is that I want to give the authors of Worst Mod and Take and Hold Tweaker time to migrate their systems over to a new build. And that's why this is sitting outside of Alpha 1, is to give them a week to come out with up-to-date versions, give them a branch they can test on, make sure that everything is fine and that the behavior that they want to be getting is as expected, so that when I migrate this over to, and that will, any of you who use those mods, that will give you this week, once they release their new stuff, so make sure you're getting the correct version once they make those releases, to switch over, so that when we go over to Alpha 1 next week, that your stuff will still work. It's always difficult sort of staging these overlapping things, especially because a lot of folks don't know that breaking changes sometimes are necessary. And if you are running the wrong version of these various things, it will not work. I have changed a lot about Take and Hold, so under the hood for this. Even though most of those changes are only for the big map, I had to make structural changes to a whole bunch of the primary methods, which those mods touch, and yeah, so that's why this is all necessary. On top of that, in terms of just the level in general, I wanted to just give a huge shout out and thank you to the testing group that has helped me in the past week get this even ready for this type of early test. Jedi, Putter, Mac, RP Putty, King, and Guardian. Y'all are fantastic and have helped me out so much with this. There is still lots of things that need to be worked on in the level. There are still geo holes, a bunch of which have been cataloged. I just haven't gotten to fixing them yet. There's some sightline issues, there's some spawning rhythm issues, etc. It's all going to need a whole bunch of iteration and testing. So I beg your patience. Know that the exact flow and pacing in this level is not exactly what I intend it to be, and that I just need to gather way more data. And so with that in mind, if you would like to leave comments about your experience, even if it's just short, in the Steam forum for the game, under feature specific, there will be a mega thread for this level. If you could start that mega thread out by listing just very tersely at the top which character you picked, which seed you picked, and which mode you're playing. Like 3 hold short, arcade, AI difficulty, simple targets, sort of thing. Just the important stuff, so that if I'm viewing your comments on like, hey, that was way too easy, that was way too hard, it took way too long for enemies to show up, etc., I can know what settings you are actually playing on, because a lot of them change the number of targets that appear, the number of patrols that appear, and things like that. So it's really important that I know. Just give me a little band, almost like you were listing your system specs, but just what your options are that you picked at the top, and then your comments below, and it will really make the feedback process for this, as I continue to tune this map, go a lot more smoothly. So yeah, in addition to that, just in terms of what's coming up next, I still have some more ideas for this map. It isn't done yet, both in terms of the way that enemies are spawning into it and the sort of cadence that you encounter enemies. The hunter patrols are not in just yet. But in addition to that, you might be asking, after seeing the sort of the grapples and the ice axes and things, well, how those might enter into Taken Hold. And basically, I'm going to be adding a new type of sort of supply station that is going to be centered around locomotion modifying objects, like the grapple and the ice axes and some other stuff I have in store. So I don't have that ready yet, but that will go in during this alpha. They'll probably be cheap. They'll probably just be like 1 token to buy either a pair of ice axes or a grapple or something like that. And yeah, we will and cool future stuff. So yeah. Well, that is about it. I will stop rambling now. I hope you all enjoy playing the new map tonight and this weekend. I will try to not be terrified by the deluge of feedback that I get back. As I said, this is a slower pace mode, just so that you're prepared. It's never even after all of the tuning I do, it's never going to play as fast as the interior Taken Hold level, and frankly put, that's part of the point, is to create sort of like a longer sort of psychological experience with it. And really the challenge throughout this entire design process is going to be making sure that enough varied and interesting things can still take place during that point of interest to point of interest traversal, and I'm hoping to find what works best along with a bunch of your feedback over the next couple weeks. So yeah. See y'all soon. Peace.